You are listening to Offstage with DJ Law on Latino USA Radio. Don't forget to tell a friend and download Latino USA TV app and press the radio link.
It's cold like ice, chill. Come over. I'm cold like ice, chill. Come over.
You have arrived to Offstage with DJ Law, bringing you the best local, regional, and international music genres with interviews and positive vibrations. Thank you for joining Offstage with DJ Law. Offstage with DJ Law is a behind-the-scenes showcase of the artists, their music, and some of their life stories and experiences. Today, we have the honor of having the legendary Freddie Duran. Freddie Duran is a Mexican-American Chicano singer, songwriter, and entertainer. Freddie hails from Alamogordo, New Mexico, but resides primarily in Arizona. Freddie has been performing and recording in and around the Phoenix Desert Southwest since the early 1980s, other than 3 years in the LA area. Freddie's vast repertoire of songs consists of both original and cover songs sung in English and Spanish. Freddie was awarded Arizona Songwriter of the Year. He was also the winner of the Tempe Songwriting Contest. And back when Star Search was having local tryouts in Phoenix, he got second place to none other than the famous actor David Spade. Freddie was also invited to perform the national anthem at the Arizona Cardinals Kansas City Chiefs game as part of their Hispanic Heritage celebration during their inaugural season. Freddie draws upon the beauty and culture of the Southwest for much of his music inspiration. Thus, the label, Adobe Rock, describes his musical style. He also likes to write about the politics of love and life, creatively blending his musical and verbal vocabulary skills to construct a number of intriguing situations and thought-provoking themes. Freddie's dynamic voice is the ultimate messenger to deliver all of this information to our ears. Before we begin our conversation with Freddie Duran, I am going to play a new song that has not been released officially, but we're in for a treat. The name of the song is called New Mexico Midnights by Freddie Duran. I hope you enjoy it.
Medianoche en Nuevo México. Medianoche en Nuevo México. When this big city life starts to shatter my mind, and a few million neighbors can seem so unkind. When the brown dirty air burns my red teary eyes, my soul escapes to my Nuevo Mexico skies. Her long hair was black, but her eyes were so green. She had the spiciest features that I've ever seen. Her body spoke 6 different languages, but I knew them all. In a land of enchantments, in a world I recall. New Mexico midnights are clear in my mind. It was never my choice to leave them behind. Though New York and LA are the hot spots to be, but when it comes to something so rare, no big city thrill can compare to New Mexico midnights. We took a dirt road detour near the outskirts of town. She was eager to know how long I'd be around. Then she whispered to me, quiero sentir tu calor. She called my body her home, then she walked through the door. We sat along the bank of the old Rio Grande. We caught the midnight moon at the lovely white sands. Under a big desert sky, you don't hear anything, only a shy August breeze as the night crickets sing. New Mexico midnights are clear in my mind. It was never my choice to leave them behind. Though New York and LA are the hot spots to be, but when it comes to something so rare, no big city thrill can compare to New Mexico midnights. Medianoche en Nuevo Mexico. Medianoche en Nuevo Mexico. No big city thrill can compare to New Mexico midnights.
That's a beautiful song, Freddie. Welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here, man. I'm honored that you asked me, man. Appreciate it.
I know you're taking time off from your family to come here, and I appreciate that. You even have your grandnephew here with you
That's
today.
correct, Julian.
Welcome, Julian. Some of the lyrics in the song New Mexico Midnights talk about the New Mexico sky with some spicy features in the body, speak 6 different languages, and you understand them. No big city thrill can compare to New Mexico Midnights. Are these memories?
Yeah, basically, I wrote this song when I had just seen the movie Milagro Beanfield War. Do you remember that movie?
I remember that
Milagro
with
Beanfield
Robert
War?
Redford, right?
He was the director, yes.
Yes.
He directed it. Freddie Fender was in it, and Ruben Blades. And it was all taking place in northern New Mexico. I had just seen it. I was living in L.A., and man, the landscape and the views and the sunsets were so beautiful, man. I got very emotional, you know. So on the way home, rush hour was really bad in L.A., dude, you know, as it always is. And I started to write this song, and I just about wrote the whole song between mile marker 187 and 188 on the northbound 405 freeway.
Wow.
By the time I got home, I just picked up my guitar and finished it.
Okay, so you never released this song yet.
Well, I mean, it was released on an album way back in the late 80s, but this is a different version. I like this version
Okay,
better.
a remix of
Yes,
that song.
yes.
Okay. Let me ask you, we know you were born in Alamogordo, New Mexico.
Correct.
How long were you raised there before you came to Phoenix?
Okay, so I was born there in Alamogordo, completed high school there and everything, and then I went to New Mexico State, Aggies in Las Cruces, on a music scholarship, and then I went over there. I was there for about 3 years. In music, I was gonna music ed major.
Okay. Let me ask you before you go on, what year was that?
That was in 1976.
When you started college?
Yes, I did not graduate. I went 3 years, and then that's when I thought I was gonna be a music teacher, and I was like, man, I don't want to be a music teacher. Yeah. So then I met a girl, and right in the heart of disco. Disco was hitting big, and we learned how to dance. So we were really good dancers, and so we used to go to El Paso and dance contests and Las Cruces. And we used to win all these dance contests, dude. We were making a living just
You were a
dancing.
dancer too, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were making a living just dancing, dude. I mean, we may not get like first place in El Paso, but we get like third place, and that'd be like $100, and then we'd go to another club later on, another $100, and the cruises. So we were making a living at it, man. So
And how long did that go on?
a couple years.
And what years were those?
78, 79.
Okay. Yeah, that was hardcore disco time.
Yep. Yep, big time.
So when you were growing up within your family, did anyone play any music?
Oh, man.
Instruments or
Dude.
sing?
My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, my mom's side, she played like 7 or 8 instruments, dude. She played.
Wow.
She was a music teacher there in Alamogordo. They arrived there. They were pioneers. My grandpa and my grandma, Tulelo y Tulela. That's what we called them back there. You know, Arizona says like Nana and
Right.
what do you guys, Tata?
No.
Over there we say Tulelo y Tulela. Tu abuelo, Tulel. Tu
Wow,
abuela.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, it was just our family. So she was his music teacher. My dad played guitar, not professionally, of course, but he played guitar, all the old,
Boleros.
no, not the boleros, the rancheras. Say Alfredo de Mengo, Jose Alfredo Jimenez, and that old kind of stuff. Antonio Aguilar, and my mom played piano. So needless to say, my brother, who's 19 years older than me, man, that dude played piano, French horn, guitar, sang, made all-state choir, but he was 19 years older. My sisters all sing, and then I sing. So the whole family sings, dude.
How many siblings do you have?
5.
Wow, and all of them play instruments and sing.
All of them sing. And my brother played instrument, and my sister Bonnie played guitar. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, we'd get together for family reunions and throw out some badass
I bet that's
harmonies.
fun.
Yeah.
Wow. So the instruments that your mother played, can you tell me what those are?
She played the piano, and I think that was it. But my grandmother played
That's what I meant, your grandmother.
Yeah. She played like piano, violin, guitar, banjo, mandolin, organ. I think she might have played some kind of a wind instrument. I don't know, man. But
That
she
is
was something
amazing.
else.
Is she still alive?
No.
How old were you when she passed away?
I was in college.
So she had a big impact on you.
Yeah, she did. Growing up, she did. We all grew up in the same neighborhood right there. All our neighbors were my tios and my tias. So we all grew up in the same neighborhood, dude. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful childhood.
And you
man.
must have a large family.
Yeah. 70,
How many uncles and aunts?
Well, 72 first cousins on both sides.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my mom and dad put together 72 first cousins. On my mom's side, it was about 58.
Wow.
Yeah, all of us
That's
were running
huge.
around the streets over there. They call Chihuahuita. You know how over in Glendale they have Sawarita?
Uh-huh.
Well, over there we had Chihuahuita. It was the hood, bro.
Amazing. As a kid, or as you're growing to school, high school, junior high, what type of music did you like?
Well, of course, I got turned on to the Beatles at a very early age when I was 5 years old. My brother came back from the Air Force in Germany. He came back with that album, Meet the Beatles, and he showed my sisters, on the baby. So I was like 5, and they were like 7 and 10. And he goes, "You guys got to check these guys out. They're really big in Germany right now." And we put the album on, man. We couldn't believe it, man. We just kept on playing that album over and over and over and over. So the Beatles were very influential. Again, the early Mexican music, Jose Alfredo Jimenez, Antonio Aguilar, what's his name? Javier Solis and Pedro Infante.
Oh, yes.
Those guys, because my dad used to play that stuff. So really got it turned on to that. Then, of course, on the rock side, it started getting into junior high and start listening to the other real vocally oriented. I've always been very vocally oriented. Three Dog Night, Chicago. Very like mid '60s stuff, man. Even the mid '60s stuff, man. The Motown, all that stuff. A lot of us are influenced by the same stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, Three Dog Night was huge in high school for me. Paul McCartney became Wings. That was big. And then Steely Dan came out, bro. And that Steely Dan, that's my number one. Like, I don't know about influence because a lot of my music doesn't sound like that, but just the technical, wizardry of what they did.
The way they composed their
Oh,
songs.
man, dude, and recorded it. It really drew me, because it challenged me. It challenged me, just as a listener and a player. I play a few Steely Dan songs now, and it's like the most gratifying thing I do, man.
When did you pick up your first instrument? At what age?
So I was 12 when I started playing guitar. I was in the 6th grade, just like Julian, and Mexican music, dun ting ting dun 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 dun, that stuff. And then when I joined, when I got to the 7th grade, I joined band. And I wanted to be a sax player, but my mom and dad couldn't afford a sax. So we went to the music store, and the guy told him that, well, if he starts on clarinet, then later on it's the same fingerings, and he can become a sax player later on when you can afford a saxophone. And my mom was like, okay, well, let's start him on clarinet. And I looked up and I said, man, Mom, I don't want to play clarinet. That's for girls, But then I went to school and found out I got to sit with the girls.
There you go. So you did end up playing it.
So I played clarinet, for like 4 years, my 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th year. Yeah. Wow. And then in my junior year, I switched over to saxophone. I finally got a saxophone, man. I still play it to this day.
I did not know
the
that.
same saxophone that my mom got for me back in 1974.
I've always seen you with the guitar, so I had no idea.
Yeah. Like when I play with Barrio Latino and those guys, like Andy Gonzalez and I play sax. Yeah, with those guys. Yeah.
That's nice. I had no idea. Mm-hmm. Very talented. When did you decide you picked up a guitar at 12 years old and started playing it? Was it given to you by a family member? Or
it was like my brother's guitar.
At what point did you get real serious about music?
Well, I liked to play baseball, but my dad, he was really good. I couldn't live up to his expectations, you know what I mean? I mean, he was a really good baseball player. And but I made All-Stars when I was 12. I was 12 again, so I did make All-Stars in first grade. But I just couldn't hit a curveball, man. That curveball came at me, and I backed out, and I just my dad would be in the stands, métate. And I said, tú métate, man. You're not the one getting hit by a damn baseball, bro.
And they're going fast.
So that was the end of my baseball career. And then, and I wanted to play so bad, but, someone had to die before, one of these señores, all the señores that were like, my age now, probably, who knows. But someone had died. So I finally, I went to my friends. I said, hey, man, do you guys need anybody? What do you play? Guitar? We already have a guitar player. I said, man, he goes, well, we need a bass player. You play bass? And I go, yeah, I will. I'll play bass. So I learned it. I just took a bass home. I borrowed it from my cousin or something. And I started playing that bass. And next thing you know it, I was in a band, making $25 a night.
That's probably decent money back then, I bet.
Yeah, being in high school.
In high school.
Gas was 42 cents a gallon.
There you go.
And then I also played in a country band as well, playing bass, because they found out that I was bass players. And I played in a country band, and I played in a bluegrass band. And I got to play acoustic guitar in a bluegrass band. And out of all of them, that was the most fun.
Why is that?
Just bluegrass music, It's really cool stuff.
I like bluegrass.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
So you play bass, guitar, sax, clarinet, any other instruments you play?
I can play some keyboards. I'm not a keyboard player, but I can. Whenever I do a lot of my recordings, I play my own keyboards on there.
Oh, okay.
It's not salsa or Billy Joel sort to that quality, but I can lay down chords and stuff.
What is your favorite instrument?
Acoustic guitar.
Right on. I want to play another song called Final Breath.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's a nice love ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the song says, you will be there for my final breath. Did you have a special person that you had in mind when you were composing this song?
I was in Atlanta, Georgia in 1980, and playing at a place there with my compadre, Roger Enrico. Roger that plays congas now?
Uh-huh.
We were doing a duo, and I was over there in Atlanta, and there was a waitress that in this specific place that I saw, and I was just in love with her. But I couldn't talk to her. I didn't go over or talk to her, but there was a blizzard, and anyone from Atlanta will know the blizzard, the famous blizzard of 1980. It shut down the town for like 3 days, dude. It's the coldest I've ever been in my life. It's minus 17 in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
It was rain and then snow and then sleet, and then it started again. Rain, slow, sleet, all over again. It was terrible. So I was locked in. We were all locked in our I was in an apartment, and I was just looking at the snow, and I was thinking about that girl. And I thought to myself, man, my final breath, if all I did was kiss your lips, my final breath would be sublime. And it just went on from that. A really dreamy song.
Right. Beautiful lyrics,
I just completed it last year.
Just in time for this show. We're going to play it right now, and I hope the audience enjoys it.
all I did was kiss your lips, my final breath would be sublime. I could love you a lifetime in one short embrace. It would be a Cinderella story to me. Just 1 second of your life would be what I last would want my eyes to see. I could love you a lifetime in one short embrace. I can see it, I can feel it, giving love I never gave before. As I kiss you, I will miss you, and that kiss must last forevermore. Now I see I'm back into reality. I wonder if you noticed me. I swore I saw you smile at me. Are you lonely? And could you need someone like me? 'Cause I would wait until the end of time if all I did was kiss your lips. My final breath would be sublime. I could love you a lifetime in one short embrace. A lifetime in one short embrace. A lifetime in one short
That's a beautiful ballad. We were talking about you playing the horns with Barrio Latino or maybe some other bands. A lot of their music, don't they play funk and soul, R&B?
Yeah, they used to. Now there's so many different configurations of the band now. To be honest with you, it's kind of a patchwork, of players. So depending on who's with them that specific night, that's when it'll lean towards. Me personally, I sing all the Tejano stuff. I sing the country stuff. And even though I used to do a lot of R&B, I don't really sing that much R&B in Barrio Latino. I've actually kind of phased out of that whole R&B. I'd like to get back into it, man, because I miss singing that kind of stuff, But we also have some girls that will come in and sing, and they'll do some 70s. I mean, do Cher and Dolly Parton, and then Andy does a bunch of cumbias, and then his grandson, now who's in the band, is Ernie Nunez is in the band.
Okay.
And he brings a lot of reggae in there. He brings reggae into it, and it's kind of like just a newer life.
Right.
Yeah, he's younger. He's about 30 or so. And classic rock. I do a lot of classic rock, man, Badfinger and...
Were you into any of into funk or anything like that?
Oh,
when you
of
were growing
course,
up?
bro. Because I mean, like I said, that So moving into college then, from all the bands I went moving into college, I tell you, as a music major, you meet all these other music majors, and within 3 weeks, bro, we had a band together.
Because the funk had all the horns.
Levi Rise was the name of the band, and we had sax, trombone, and trumpet, and these guys were all like first chair, from Arkansas, from Missouri, top of the line guys, man, and everyone was, and everybody sang. So we did all. I mean, the Confunction, Tire Power, Chicago, Blood, Sweat, and Tears,
Average White Band.
The Average White Band. We did all that stuff, dude. So back then I was singing a lot of funk.
Okay. Because when I met you back in probably the early to mid-'90s, you were at Dos Los Molinos, I believe.
Yes.
And with you and your guitar and your vocals.
Yes.
And some backing
so
tracks.
So before
maybe.
that, if you had been around, because you're younger than I am, but I played at Dugo's. When New Destiny was playing at Dugo's.
Not Verdugo's, Dugo's, right?
Yes,
on 19th Avenue in Van Buren?
19th Avenue Van Buren. Yeah.
Wow.
So when I first came here in 1982, you know a guitar player named Danny Brown?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so he was in that band and a lot of people. And we were doing all the 80s stuff like Duran and,
Is that the Rhythm House?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
who was in that band then?
There were a bunch of guys from Michigan, man. They all came down to Tucson and they lost their singer. And I knew them, and I had just stopped playing with Roger. Roger and I went our separate ways, and I was looking for a gig, and then they hired me. And of all the places that they picked me up, they were on the road. They were in Carlsbad, New Mexico, touring. Hey, man, we're in this place called Carlsbad. I don't know if you've heard of it. I said, bro, that's my area there.
What year was that?
1982.
82. Okay, and I think you had mentioned to me you also were playing at Black Angus?
Yes. So after we came back from the road, we met an agent here named Mark Anderson, and he had a company called AXTZ, Acts International, and he booked all the Black Angus, and he put us in there, dude, and that was a heck of a time there.
Is that the one that's on Alma School? And
yeah, it was on the corner there.
Southern and Mesa.
And we played all of them, dude. We played all of them. We played the one there on Broadway, one on Camelback, the one in Maryvale. There were like 4 of them that we played.
Yeah,
it was a great time to be a musician, man. It was a 6-night-a-week gig, and it paid $450 each. So $450.
That is great money.
I mean, $450 in 1982 would be like, $1,100 now, $1,000, $1,100, So, and it was a good time, man.
Wow.
Drinking age was 19 here in Arizona.
Right. Then they had to change it.
Yeah.
When I was 18 to 21.
That's right. You didn't get grandfathered in, man.
Okay, so when you formed or were part of the Rhythm House, were you out of college already?
I was already out of college. It was after the dancing thing stopped. My dancing
right?
career. Yeah. I worked for Arthur Murray's the studio.
Oh, you actually had
I taught dancing.
Wow.
Yeah. I taught dancing for Arthur Murray's, me and my girlfriend at the time. And that lasted about a year and a half. And then I quit. And then all the clubs in El Paso had closed down, dude, because they all went to disco. There wasn't a band in El Paso. Everybody took the hatchet.
Yeah, I was talking to Rudy Barcelo, Power Drive Band, and he said it washed them out. They couldn't even play for a while.
Yep. Disco. Everybody wanted a disco and a DJ. So what happened was that's when I bring up Roger and Rico again, Rogerio, I call him, and we just started a duo, and we started like these little steakhouses and things like that, and they were still hiring music. So that's when I started doing the solo thing.
Is that when you got real serious then?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was all I was doing. It was a full-time job.
Because you quit college at the third year. You said, I don't want to be...
After my junior year, yeah.
Right. And you said, I don't want to be a music teacher.
Yes.
And I know another person who plays guitar. I don't know if you know Donna Moreno.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and she went to music school and, became a teacher and all that, but sometimes she had mentioned that she wished she would have done it a different way.
Right.
So you decided, I'm out. I don't want to be a teacher. I just want to go to do music full time?
Yes.
And that's what you did?
My mother dreaded it. She hated it. She cried, mijo, why can't you be like your other brother? I said, Mom, I'm not like my older brother. We're different people.
Is he a teacher?
He got his degree. Oh, man, that guy was like an engineer for General Dynamics, dude.
Oh, wow.
He's a whiz,
All of us.
Yeah, so, she finally came to accept how much I loved it, before she passed away, which makes me very happy.
How old were you when she passed?
I was 38. And
Okay.
my dad went first on January 5th of 1987. And then my mom went like 5 weeks later, dude. It was a rough time. Yeah.
I bet.
But yeah.
They
I
got
was
to see you
38.
grow musically, though.
Yes, they did. And I was 38. So I tell people now, if they don't like the way that I act or the way I am, that it's because I've been without parental supervision for 27 years.
That's a good one. Wow. Well, I'm going to play another song called...
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this before I start this. The song is called Green Chili.
Mm-hmm.
The other two songs I played, New Mexico Midnights and Final Breath, that was you, right?
Yes.
This one coming up, Green Chili, is you singing, but with the band.
Yes, with the Freddie Duran plan.
Where did you get that name from?
It just sounded good. I just, instead of the Freddie Duran band, or the Spencer Davis group or whatever, Alan Parsons Project,
There you go.
Joey Navarro Project,
Correct.
yeah. So I thought Freddie Duran plan. Okay, that sounds good. We'll do the Freddie Duran plan. Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw the name of the band, I was like, did he mean band or did he really mean plan?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to hear Green Chili by the Freddie Duran Plan. Hope you enjoy it, and thanks for listening.
Well, I remember the place, Las Cruces on the Rio Grande. Oh, that's the place where I first felt you in my hands. Well, everybody knows that's your home, the only place where you've ever grown. I'm so glad that you came into my life. I get a craving for you every day. I really miss you when I'm away. With that ever-burning fire begging me to stay. Green chili, you taste so good in my mouth. Green chili, you taste so good in my mouth. And that's nothing like the way you feel when you go down. When I see you sitting on my plate, feel my tongue start to palpitate. I get a warm feeling down inside. You take my taste buds for a ride. You're the only one I know that makes it feel this way. You should have known that I'd be back, try to get you into the sack. You're my uncontested favorite natural snack. Green chili, you taste so good in my mouth. Green chili, you start a fire in my mouth. That ain't nothing like the way you feel when you go down. Smoke. Me vas a quemar, you're gonna burn me up. Oh, me vas a quemar, you're gonna burn me up. But I never, ever seem to get enough.
Interesting composition. The lyrics almost seem like a double meaning.
Bro, everybody asks me that. So here's what happened. I started off with green chili. I really did, because being from New Mexico, green chili tastes so good in my mouth. And then as I started writing, as if by accident, I started asking myself, I'm like, hey, people are going to think this is about like a girl or something, dude.
That's what I thought.
When you go down, all that stuff, I tell you,
Yeah, I think it's like green chili tastes good in my mouth, starts a fire in my mouth, but that's nothing like the way you feel when you go down or something like that.
Yeah. When you go down on your stomach, when it goes down on your stomach and you start digesting it.
Right. But it has that,
Yeah.
So I wasn't the only one that brought that up.
I lucked out of it. I lucked out of that. So I tell people, hey, take it like you want.
It's a good song. When did you become a composer, a writer of music?
My first song, my senior year of high school, that was a religious song. I wrote it for church. And we used to sing it. When they say peace be with you in the Catholic Church?
Yes.
Say, peace be with you, my peace be with you. And, there was nothing happening at that point. So I thought I'd write a song for that, just that little moment of time there. And luckily my priest was progressive enough to where he let us sing it. And then it would end up going to Las Cruces. I went to a church in Las Cruces just out of the blue one time, and I'm like, they were singing my song. I'm like, that's my song. I wanted to tell everybody, that's my song. I felt great about it. But anyway, that was it. And then I started writing when I got with Roger. So back about I didn't write any other song until 1980.
1980.
Yeah, then I started writing, and I was writing. And it was just different kinds of stuff, Once I got the band, I started writing the more progressive stuff because, they wanted to hear it. They didn't want to just like acoustic guitar and singing, so I had to start writing more progressive stuff for the band so they could enjoy playing original,
How did you coin the term Adobe Rock?
It's because, and of course, even now, it's even worse. There must be like 10,000 genres of music now. There's
even a songwriter genre now.
You name everything. You can name Black Cat in your backyard music. It's just like, there's so many different genres of music. Soup eating music, whatever it is. There's so many genres. So I thought to myself, how can I separate myself? It's not really classic rock. It's not hard rock. It's not soft rock. I'm from New Mexico. I grew up in an Adobe house.
There you go.
So Adobe Rock. That's it. From the Southwest.
Well, it's a good title for a genre.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from with it. So you have a lot of New Mexico influence in a lot of your music. Are there any influences that you got from artists that are from New Mexico other than your family?
Probably not so much. More like maybe Tejano stuff. It does, even though it doesn't show in my music. Little Joe, Latin Breed, Sonny Ozuna, those guys. I do have one Spanish song. I didn't include it in this show, but I think that's yet to be untapped. I think I want to write a Tejano. I think I want to do a Tejano album, But Dan Fogelberg, man. Dan Fogelberg, I would have to say, is probably one of my hugest influences, man. He taught me how to, he not personally taught me, but I learned how to finger pick, a lot of finger picking on my guitar. Listening to Dan Fogelberg, Bread. Hey, have you ever tried? So that kind of stuff. The Eagles, which I didn't mention before.
Right.
Obviously they were.
That's a big
I didn't
name.
mention that. I forgot to mention the Eagles, man. When I was a senior and junior in high school, Best of My Love, all that stuff was huge on me and still is. So I would say that those three: Dan Fogelberg, the Eagles, Bread on the English side.
Nice. Are there any specific maybe concerts or events that affected your journey in music?
Well, I never got to really go to any. Growing up in Alamogordo, didn't have a lot of money. Some of them would come to Las Cruces and at New Mexico State, and they would play. An interesting story, Jim Croce. It was going to be my first concert, and me and my cousin Louie, we went over there, and we're all standing in line getting ready to see Jim Croce, and everyone at the front of the line, the ticket counter, everyone started walking away and walking back to the parking lot. And we're all like, what the heck's going on here, What the hell's going on? So finally people started turning around, telling everyone, telling everyone they're spreading the news. And like, what the heck's going on? What's going on? Jim Croce died in a plane wreck last night
Wow.
or 2 nights ago, coming from Louisiana to Texas. And so I never got to see him in concert. But the same place, back in the day, everyone used to tour together. So I got to see Santana, War, El Chicano, and Tower of Power in one night.
That is cool. That's a treat right there. What year was that?
76.
76.
Yeah, right when it was popping.
So during so 76, and then you get around that time the disco comes in,
Yes.
right? And then you're not really playing much music, you're dancing, making your money that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then you come back, in 78, 79, start playing music again? Or in the 80s?
80.
Okay.
1980.
All right. And when you started playing music in the 80s, were you here in Phoenix area?
Well, I had just finished playing my last gig with Roger up in Fairfield, California.
And what's the name of that band you were in?
It was just me and him. It was a duo.
Oh, okay.
We were just going duo. We were in Atlanta, Georgia.
You didn't call yourself any, you just...
Cain and Abel, it was called.
Okay.
Cain and Abel, man. Some agent called us Cain and Abel. And so we were up there, and then that's the first time I had ever been up to that area. And then I came down to join that band, right? The Rhythm House. Met them in Carlsbad.
So the Rhythm House...
The Rhythm House.
They're all from...
They're all from Michigan. They were all from Michigan, and they came down here to Tucson to try to they were heading west, I guess. I don't know what was going on, All good, really good players. Man.
How long did you play with them?
2 years.
And then after that, what did you do?
And then when that band, did it break up? No, it didn't break up. I think I just left because I wanted to start writing music, I think. And, it was an amicable split, but I just wanted to write my music, and they were more like a funk group.
Right.
My music was starting to be now, like what you're hearing now, more
Right.
like a little more ballady type stuff. So I got out and I went back to live with that agent, Mark Anderson. And literally I fell into this, dude. I fell into it. I was running out of money. I didn't know what I was going to do. And there was a band that was supposed to be put together to play at Mr. T's. Mr. T's was a Holiday Inn on Country Club in the 60s. And it was supposed to be like this super group. And Anita?
I do.
Anita Padilla?
Yes.
So me and Anita were supposed to front this band with a bunch of other musicians, and it was supposed to happen, and it was going to be like a house gig and everything like that, and it fell through. So now I'm in trouble. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? I'm living with this guy. I can barely even pay him rent. So he gets a phone call, and he asks, he's talking to some guy on the radio, and he asks this guy, hey, Freddie, do you do like solo acoustic? Like, can you do like a solo acoustic gig? I'm like, me? Nah, I don't do that kind of stuff, man. I'm in a band. I play sax and I sing and I front bands. And he goes, oh, okay, well, no, well, I'll let you know if I hear anything. And then he hung up. He goes, yeah, that's too bad, man. And I go, why? He says, because there's a place up down the street over here, 2 blocks away from here, and they're looking for someone to play acoustic guitar in their Italian restaurant Tuesday through Saturday, and they'll pay $90 a day. I said, yeah, I play acoustic guitar. I play acoustic guitar and I sing. And dude, I went up to my room, man, and I must have learned about 40 to 50 songs in 1 week. Wow. And I got that gig and I stayed there, and that's how I made that transfer to being solo acoustic to what I do now. Yep.
That is interesting. So that happened in about mid-'80s then?
That was 84.
84. About the same time you started to compose your own songs.
Yeah. I started writing a lot of stuff. So that was 84 and to 85. And then 85, that's when I moved to L.A. 3.5 years.
And what'd you do there?
Well, the first thing I did, I had to get a job. So $5 an hour at some place selling hydraulic equipment and air compressors.
Wow. But why did you move there? Was it for music?
Yeah, no, I wanted to go there and try to, make it big, I wanted to go over there and make it big, There's a lot of opportunity back over there and open mics and just, things like that. So
did you have any connections there?
Had zero, nothing.
So you're making your own connections.
Yeah, I followed one of the guys over there in the band from Rhythm House. He had broken up. He had moved to L.A. too. So I lived with him for a little bit. Then he moved to San Diego. So I stayed in L.A. and I started just finding gigs, dude. The gigs just started coming in at the beach and, the Lighthouse and Hermosa Beach and all these Tony Roma's and Scott in Beverly Hills stuff. I started doing that
that's nice.
while keeping my day job. But that turned detrimental because in 1 week I wrecked my motorcycle and my van in the same week because I was exhausted. So I would fall asleep. Yeah, I'm lucky I'm alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
During those 3 years in California or LA, you were writing a lot of music, I'm sure.
Oh, I was writing like crazy up there, man. Yeah.
Were you recording as well?
No way to record it because it was expensive back then. It's not like it is nowadays. Everyone has a home studio. Back then, you had to book a studio, and it was usually, $85 to $100 an hour. So yeah, it was tough. I just had all these songs waiting.
Well, we're here to showcase some of them.
Yeah.
The next song we have is La Llorona by the Freddie Duran Plan. Before I heard it, I was expecting another rendition of the old La Llorona. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell the audience what La Llorona is about? What
where I grew up in New Mexico, and every state has a different situation. But the story that we were told as children was that there was a lady who fell in love with a man, but he wouldn't marry her because she had children. So he didn't want to marry a woman that already had children. So she decided that the best idea for her to do would get rid of her children. So she went to the river and drowned them all. And then she went back to him and said, "Hey, I don't have any children anymore." And of course, he thought she was, loca,
Yeah, and she spends her time looking for children.
Yeah, so then she died, and then God punished her by making sure that her soul would never enter into eternity, would never enter into heaven or even the afterlife, that her soul would stay here on earth looking for her children for eternity. So here's where the parents come in. They said, if you're not in by dark, you're not in by the time it gets dark or 8 o'clock, La Llorona's going to mistake you for one of her kids, and she's going to take you away.
I remember being young hearing about La Llorona.
And we were in the house, bro. 8 o'clock was 7:58. We were in the house.
Yep, when the sun was going down. Well, let's hear La Llorona by the Freddie Duran Plan.
Like a whisper in the night, I hear the wind blow. It sounds so human to me. I get up from my bed, rush to the window, crack the blinds so I can see. It's as if someone were there. I can kind of make out her long flowing hair. I saw her last night, the one I've heard of, the one they call La Llorona. I swear I saw her, and I wasn't dreaming. I saw the crying lady singing ay, 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 ay. ¿A dónde se fueron mis niños? Dime, Madre de Dios, ¿a dónde se fueron mis niños? La Llorona. As the story goes, she left her babies all alone by the river. As fate would have it, oh, they all disappeared. Just the thought makes me shiver. She cried with all of her might, and she still searches for them every night. I saw her last night, the one I've heard of, the one they call La Llorona. I swear I saw her, and I wasn't dreaming. I saw the crying lady singing ay, 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 ay. ¿A dónde se fueron mis niños? Dime, Madre de Dios, ¿a dónde se fueron mis niños? No woman ever should feel a cut so deep it never heals. Ay, 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 ¿a dónde se fueron mis niños? Ay, 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 ¿a dónde se fueron mis niños? La Llorona.
Tráeme mis niños para atrás. Perdóname, Señor, por mi terrible pecado.
Great song, Freddie. You know, the songs that we've been listening to, very crispy, very nice. Where are you recording your music?
Okay, so there are anything with the Freddie Duran plan that was recorded with Clark Rigsby, and he's been around for a long time.
Is that here in the Valley?
Yes, yeah. He has Tempest recording, and at the time, our guitar player Carol, female guitar player, was dating him, and but we met. I had heard from Clark, way before. Excellent engineer. So he recorded our first two albums. The first one was in a cassette, bro. I didn't bring you one. I didn't bring you one of those.
I turned those into digital now.
I found a cassette on eBay. Somebody selling one our first cassette for $5.
That's cool, man.
I almost wanted to buy it myself just so I could play. Anyway, he did that, and then he did our first CD, and then anything after that, I did at my home studio. So I have a home studio. Like I said, I've got the same machine, bro. It's a Roland VS 2400.
It's very clean sound.
And anything like the Questions for God, New Mexico Midnights, and Final Breath. All those were on there. I got a couple of analog Focusrite analog preamps.
Nice.
That I plug into, and I do that right into that, and my guitar, vámonos. That's it, man. I got a keyboard. I still have an old Roland XP50, bro. Do you have one?
I have a Roland. I was seeing what kind of...
Yeah, it's a Roland XP50, but I bought all the sound cards, and the sound cards in that thing is still amazing. The horns and the strings and the drums and the bass.
Okay, so are you doing all that
Abe
stuff?
Laboriel, yeah.
In the songs that New Mexico Midnights, Final Breath, that's all you?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
So I'm just finding the right voices and stuff. But I mean that bass card is incredible. The drum card. There's an Abe Laboriel bass line, Marcus Miller, and you you hit the keyboard. I mean, it sounds like
So you learned that keyboard, all the different settings and programming.
If I need something, in the future, like New Mexico Midnights, I had Junior Coda. Junior Coda played with New Mexico Midnights, because I wanted more of a natural, sound. And then Robert Scott played the cajon,
Nice.
But pretty much right now, and I got 2 songs I'm ready to put out, Brandon. Like I said, they were one of those old songs from the old days. One I wrote for my dad called "I'm the One You Call Your Son," and then there's another one called "Take Me or Leave Me," and everybody seems to be "Take Me or Leave Me" is like their number 1 song. So I got to go ahead and put that out.
Given the new technology that's out right now, I mean, I ordered CDs for our new release.
Yes.
CD release party a couple weeks ago. I didn't order that many because a lot of people just download now.
They do download, but there's enough of them that want to have that
something in their hand.
Piece.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's cash in your hand, brother. That's $20, 15, 20 in your hands, cash. You can't count on people streaming, and if you do, what are you making, man? 0.003 cents or something.
Mm-hmm.
It costs me right now more money to have my music online than I make per year on my music. Not everybody. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it can't still happen. If I keep on putting content out and music, even my grandnephew Julian's brother, Alex was telling me, Uncle Freddie, you haven't put anything on YouTube like in a year. I'm like, whoa. He goes, you need more content. I'm like, oh, he's 8 years old.
And they already know about that stuff,
or 9
too.
years old. Yeah. I said, yeah, so I got to put out more content. I'm learning how to do it. People did it. Look at Billie Eilish. She just went on SoundCloud, dude, and just all her friends just started sharing. And who's the latest one, Julian? Noelle or something like that. She just came out, and
a singer?
Her name. Yes. Her dress is all weird and stuff, but she just came out and put some stuff on.
And she got famous
online. Yeah, and it just became big. And next thing you know, she got invited to do a like Coachella or something like that, and now she's huge.
And it just takes one hit. One hit. That's all we're waiting for, huh? We'll be a one-hit wonder.
That's right, baby.
Well, this next song that we're going to play is from the Freddie Duran Plan. It's called On Julia's Side. It's a nice romantic ballad. When I heard it, I was like, who is Julia? Everything's better on Julia's side of the bed, but it sounds like she's not there.
Okay, yeah, so that's just me. That's Freddie Duran. That was after the band. I did it. Everything on there is just me, and then Carol. My guitar player, Carol, she still is like my right-hand woman. So I do most of it, and then I give it to her, and she adds her guitar part to it. Julia was my longest girlfriend, 7, not long, she wasn't long. It was the longest time period.
Right.
7 years, and she was a flight attendant, and let's just say
I figured she was a flight attendant because you
yes.
talk about her going from Phoenix to
That's
Albuquerque,
right.
I believe.
And let's just say that I messed up. So I told her she was going to leave. She was packing her clothes, and she was going to leave. And I told her, I said, listen, I wrote you a song. Just do me a favor. And I had my machine right there, my recording machine. I go, just press play. When I leave, I'm going to go to my gig. Do me a favor, just press play. When you're done listening to it, just press stop and just listen to this song I wrote you. If you want to leave after that, then so be it. So I got back from the gig. She was still there.
So it worked?
So it worked. So I said, it's a really good song. But a year later, we broke up, so it's not a great song.
Hey, well, I liked it. And let's see if the audience likes it. I hope they enjoy it. It's called On Julia's Side by Freddie Duran.
Stereo playing Steely Dan underneath this ceiling fan. I always end up on Julia's side of the bed. Smell of coffee still in the air, a toasted bagel sitting there. I always end up on Julia's side of the bed. On Julia's side, I breathe her body. smell her hair. On Julia's side, everything's better. I only wish that Julia could be there. Looks like I'm home alone again. Alarm went off, I don't know when. I always end up on Julia's side of the bed. She had to work again last night, a Phoenix Albuquerque flight. I always end up on Julia's side of the bed. On Julia's side, I breathe her body. On Julia's side, I smell her hair. On Julia's side, everything's better. I only wish that Julia could be there. I always seem to wake up on her pillow. I'm surprised there's room there for my head. Though it's just as nice over on my side, I'd rather be on Julia's side instead. That's right. I broke her heart and I can't see why. I guess I'm just a screwed up guy, but I still end up on Julia's side of the bed. If she forgives me when she hears this song, I'm gonna love her till God is wrong. I'll never wander from Julia's side of the bed. On Julia's side, I breathe her body. On Julia's side, I smell her hair. On Julia's side, everything's better. I only wish that Julia could be there. I only wish that Julia could be there.
That's a beautiful ballad. We were talking about your recording, and you're still using some of your old equipment, but it sounds great. I mean, it really does.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know the difference.
It's because I'm so well versed in it.
Now, are you the one that is playing the saxophone throughout the various songs we've been listening to?
The Green Chili is my buddy playing.
Okay.
Yeah, Jerry Donato.
Because I heard some really nice saxophone
sections,
and I was like, wow, that's real nice. And then when you told me you played sax, I'm like, I'm wondering if that's you. So let me ask you, how do you describe your creative process when you're writing new music?
Well, it used to be I'd ride my motorcycle. I'd get on my motorcycle, and then I'd just ride. And these ideas would just come to me. And back in the heyday, everything would come together. The melody and the lyrics would actually come at the same time. That was when it was going on, man. You know what I mean?
And you'd hear that in your mind while you're riding your bike.
Yes. And then I'd get home or I'd write it down. Remember those little cassette miniature, the little small little miniature cassette?
the ones, the dictation
I had one of
recorders.
those. So I'd pull over and I'd sing a little piece in there, blah, blah. And then when I'd go home, I'd finish it, But nowadays it's a little harder. I'm not saying I'm not writing music. If I have to write a song, like there was a contest to write a song for Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I wrote this song, dude, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. I thought I had it in the bag, man, and I didn't get chosen. And I'm not kidding you. That's for one time I thought like 100%. I would have bet my house on it. I would have bet everything on it that I would have going to win this contest. We're going to pick it. And then I'm picking some other dude. It sounded like Bob Dylan or something.
What year was that?
This is 9 months ago, 10 months ago.
Oh, recently.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So these writing contests that you were in, you being a writer, we talked about there's so many different genres, even a songwriting genre. How did you get into these songwriting contests?
Usually just a friend. Just a friend called me up, The one for Tempe back in the day, my friend, my compadre, called me up, said, hey, dude, I was living in L.A. And he goes, hey, there, Tempe's having a contest, $500 first prize. That's the motivation.
That's the incentive.
I'm in L.A. I'm hurting for money. So he goes, it's about Tempe. He goes, you spend a lot of time in Tempe. I go, yeah, no problem. So that'll be really fun. I invite everybody to go to YouTube and search for Tempe Never Gonna Move Away. That's the name of the song. Tempe Never Gonna Move Away. Freddie Duran, and it shows the record, and I won that contest.
Nice.
I was actually a tie. So there was another guy that played, and his song's on the other side, But Tempe Never Gonna
on
Move
YouTube,
Away.
it does it show you singing, or is just
No, it's just a 45 that they turned into digital. But
they recorded you too then.
Yes, yeah. Whoever won, they recorded the song.
Nice.
Yeah, and then they made 45s out of it, and you could go to the city hall in Tempe and pick up the 45. They're out of those
45s, right?
Yes, that was 1985.
Okay.
Yeah, but I listened to it the other day, and I'm like, hey man, Tempe. It sounds like country western, like what's that? New wave, new wave country western, dude. It's pretty cool, man. I was like, hey, that's kind of a cool song,
Nice. We have another song correct me if I'm wrong, by the Freddie Duran Plan called "The Desert."
Yes.
Okay. There's no doubt in my mind that you love the Southwest, and as the song says, that's where you feel free. Who inspired you to write that song?
I can remember exactly where I was when I started that song, dude. Remember Trocaderos?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was driving home. I was playing at Trocaderos. And I was doing a solo gig. And then who else was there? Rod was there. David Espinosa was there playing congas. And I think they followed me. The band with ¿cómo se llama? Hot Mango. They had a band called Hot Mango. And they were playing there. Well, I would play for the happy hour. And then I was driving home that night, and this big, giant, full moon came up over the superstitions or over there. And I just looked at it. I said, man, when the moon sits low in the western sky. And then it just kept on going. Million stars appear to the naked eye. I mean, it just came, bro. Went home and finished it. No noise or electricity. Like, we're talking about the real desert, like in the middle of nowhere. No noise or electricity. No place for high society. So I'm shunning Scottsdale. I'm kind of shunning all the rich people up in Scottsdale. I'm like, what are you doing up here, man? You guys belong back east. This is the desert. This is, there's no place for high society.
Who's playing the congas and percussion?
That might have been like Todd Chuba.
Okay.
You know Todd Chuba? Yeah, it might have been either Todd Chuba or Dom Moyo.
Okay, and are you playing the acoustic guitar?
I'm playing acoustic, and then Carol in the band, the whole band. John Herrera on drums, Dan Walker on keyboards. God, who played bass on the desert? We had like 3 different bass players on that album. Might be Tony Contreras.
Okay. Well, we're going to play The Desert by the Freddie Duran Plan. Hope you enjoy it.
When the moon sits low in the western sky, a million stars appear to the naked eye. Just the sound of your beating heart, colored clouds, celestial art. Only one place you can be, and that's the desert. When the sun comes up over the eastern plain, It's a brand new game. Dry terrain, tumbleweeds, that's all the snakes and the lizards need, yeah. One place I know where I'm free, and that's the desert. No noise or electricity, no place for high society. Last chance to breathe antiquity, and you can see forever. Back in time, let us go now and just look around. Spanish wind came to conquer what others had found. They came to give this land a name. Today the Badlands still remain. One reason we'll never leave, and that's the desert. No noise or electricity, no place for high society. Last chance to breathe antiquity, and you can see forever.
That was a nice song, Freddie. The Desert. What kind of style would you consider that one? Because this seems a lot more Latinish than your other songs.
Yeah, that's the one that actually the Latin came out, man. More like maybe like Spanish even, man. A little more flamenco type feel to it, you know? And that one, very natural. It feels very natural. That had a lot of little Santana. Probably came out in me on that one, you know?
Do you also play the electric guitar?
I do not play lead.
Okay.
So that's why I have Carol. That's why I have Carol or whoever is available to play like some leads, you know, for me, you know, stories, you know. I don't know why. I just got a good electric guitar actually given to me, so maybe I start picking it up and start learning my own leads, you know. But at the end of that song, I wanted to say really quick. The end of that song was and that "Yo nací de la tierra," helping me on that is the incomparable Diana Lee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's a great singer, man. And I'm not taking away from you because you're an awesome singer as well. So we were talking about your creative writing skills when you're making music and how you find the inspiration. You said you used to take rides on your motorcycles. Things will come to you easier back then. Now it's a little not as easy as before. And you did indicate that one inspiration you got from this song for the desert was you saw the moon coming up. What other things inspire you?
Well, I used to write about like what I said, the politics of love and life. You know, I always had to get deeper. I would like to get deeper, not just, hey baby, I love you, give me a kiss, let's go for a walk. You know what I mean? I feel the need to exercise my vocabulary, you know, more. You know, use more eloquent lyrics. You know, because I feel better about it when I'm done. You know.
I like the way you play on your words.
Yes. So I think that now, whenever I see things, I definitely do have ideas, man. I've got on my phone, I've got tons of ideas and lyrics, but it's just the music isn't coming like it used to. It is not coming. You know why? It's because I mean, think about it. How much music is out there? Every time, you know, you try to come up with a melody, it's been done. You're copying somebody. You know, when in my earlier career, music wasn't so easily accessible. So if I was copying somebody, I didn't know it, you know?
Is that a reason why you kind of came up with your own genre?
Yeah, I mean, it probably is so,
because you don't want to be like everybody else?
But like right now, if you really want to hear some really good, what you want to call the craft of songwriting, yeah, almost you have to go to country music. There's so many good songwriters in country music right now that are craftsmen. Man, they just write and it's so beautiful. My favorite right now is Casey Musgraves. Casey Musgraves, she writes beautiful music and she sings, and she plays guitar and sings. It's just, you know, there's so many people writing and stuff. So I think that what happens, again, like I'm saying, I come up with a melody, I'm like, nah, that sounds like this song, or this sounds like this song. You know, so it has to be to be truly original. You know, people are getting sued all the time nowadays. You know, you copied my song, you copied my song, this, that, you know. So
everybody's copying each other.
Yeah. I have to come up with something really original, you know.
Your music definitely is original.
Yeah, and it's just not, like I said, it's not coming that easy like it did before. But it's okay. Guess what? I got all that old stuff I never recorded.
You know, and that's
like
I was going to ask you that right now.
Yeah.
I bet you have tons of music that's ready to be recorded.
I have at least 12 or 15 other songs ready to go. You
wow.
know? So I just got to finish those and now record them in today's style, I guess, you know, because in the 70s...
You got to remix them all.
Yeah, in the 70s was a little kind of like a lot of reverb. And,
yeah, we did the same thing with our music where the stuff from the early 90s, we had to remix it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's dated.
It's dated, yeah. And
yeah.
You can tell. Well, we have another song by the Freddie Duran Plan called To the Rio. I can tell that, you know, I mentioned before that a lot of your music is about the Southwest. And you feel very comfortable, like you're at home in the desert. And this song describes where the Rio Grande starts in Colorado and ends up in the Gulf of Mexico. Mm-hmm. In your song, you're describing, when the water's going through the desert, you're describing the desert itself as well. It's a beautiful song. How did you find the inspiration to write that one?
This one wrote itself, bro. I did not write that song. I swear to you, man. I came home one day and I was just thinking about back home. And I had a roommate and I told her, I said, no phone calls. This is before, thank God it's before mobile phones. I said, no phone calls. I'm not home. If anyone comes by, I'll be in my room. I walked in my room, dude, and 30 minutes later, I came out with this song. 30 minutes later, dude, it's just like...
That's amazing.
It wrote itself. It was just flowing like the river.
There you go. Well, we're going to hear To the Rio by the Freddie Duran Plan. We hope you enjoy it.
the one I'm sure you know. Well, it was born in Colorado, flows out the Gulf of Mexico, and the river runs past the yucca tree. As the west wind blows, it embraces me. I'm a native, yeah, I'm a native. Follow me. To the Rio Grande, it carries our tradition. To the Rio Grande, it's our pride and joy. I can feel the past as I touch the rushing waters of the Rio Grande. En mi tierra estoy. Well, if you look across the valley, you can barely see the top, but there's so much beneath the surface, and it's begging you to stop. And the copper sun in the turquoise sky, like an Indian scout, keeps a watchful eye on his people. Yeah, his people. Follow them to the Rio Grande. It carries our tradition. To the Rio Grande, it's our pride and joy. I can feel the past as I touch the rushing waters of the Rio Grande. No me saques de mi tierra, sin ella no quiero vivir. Estoy muy lejos de mi tierra, me voy para atrás para morir en paz, en paz. To the Rio Grande, carries our tradition. To the Rio Grande, it's our pride and joy. I can feel the past as I touch the rushing waters of the Rio Grande. Rio, vamos a mi río. Al río, vámonos todos a mi río.
I really love the lyrical composition on this. And I also like the way the song changes. It goes back and forth to different styles.
Yeah, the mariachi part in the middle,
Yes,
man.
it was real nice. Are you doing the guitar?
I hired them. I hired some mariachis, bro.
I wasn't expecting to hear that when I was listening to the song, and all of a sudden it changed up.
Yeah, Mario Gil. Man, him and his guys, and Marcelino and those guys, they're all like classic mariachis here in Phoenix, dude. And I was really lucky to be able to put them in this song, man.
Nice.
I'm telling you.
Well, they did a great job and beautiful song. If you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 66 years old, brother.
Okay, so you've been playing music for how?
54?
Wow.
54 years?
And during that time, I understand you started at 12, and then when you started to get more professional, getting paid, what kind of obstacles or challenges did you find as you pursued your music career?
Obstacles. Oh, my goodness. Credit. Getting good credit. That was a major obstacle. I'm barely right now able to, say I've got decent credit, but man, that was the hardest part. Trying to buy something. Well, you don't have a job. You don't have a job. You don't have a pick. Can you bring a paycheck? Well, I'd play at different places.
That must have been tough.
Yeah, that was tough, man. Obstacles. Again, just doubt, self-doubt. Doubting yourself. That can happen a lot.
And how do you overcome those types of things? Maybe you can give some advice to a younger up-and-coming music artist.
So I'm a big Vincent van Gogh guy. I love Vincent van Gogh. I love his paintings. I love his life. I love his story. He had a saying that says, "If ever you get tired or feel like you don't want to paint anymore, by all means, keep painting."
Even when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. Just whenever you feel down upon yourself and you're painting, by all means, keep painting. Because
push yourself.
You'll come out of it. You'll come out of it. Yeah. Or maybe it's a dark painting. So maybe if I'm down, I'll write a bummer song. About how, about how low I feel, then that'll help, right?
True. And what do you like most about playing music?
Making people feel good, bro. I mean, I got to tell you, man, the other day there was this little kid, and he was only maybe 2 years old. He was sitting there, and he was just staring at me, and his mom and his Nana were there with him, and he goes, he's got a guitar in the car, a little tiny neon guitar. I said, go get it. So then they got, he went and got it, and man, he was standing next to me with his little guitar with the pictures and everything. I mean, the neon going off and everything. This kid was on top of the world, man. I've had people, I've played for baptisms. I've played for people get married. I've played for people popping the question,
if you want to get married.
Yeah, like, what do you call it when someone...
Proposes.
I played for proposals. I've played for funerals, brother. A lot of funerals. I've seemed like I've been there and just kind of helped people, soothe their souls and their healing by my music. I even, this is kind of a personal story, but I won't use any names. But a buddy of mine invited me. He didn't invite me. He told me his grandmother was in her last hours. His whole family came from California to see her in her last hours. I said, where's she at, man? I was just asking. He goes, she's just a place down the street called whatever. So the next day I called him, or I texted him, and I go, hey, listen, man, do you think it'd be okay if I come usher your grandmother out with my guitar? Come sing her some songs and stuff. And he's like, oh, dude, would you do that? He goes, we can't pay you. I said, no. I don't need to be paid, brother. I just want to go over there and help you guys and help her out. So I sat out her window because it was still like COVID was kind of still going on a little bit at that age for her. And she sat there and she was in a coma still. But I sang like Tu Solo Tu, and I sang like, all those old Mexican songs for her for about half an hour. And all the girls were around her daughters and everything. And I finally said, I gave him a thumbs up. I said, I think that's good, And no sooner did I take my guitar, turn around, and put it in my case when one of the daughters like, Mama! And brother, she crossed over 20 seconds after I stopped singing. I did not know how to feel. At first I felt guilty. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do here, But then they all came up to me and they went, "Thank you,
Yes.
thank you for ushering her, helping her cross over." And man, I cried all the way home, bro. You know, but that's what I love the most about music, making other people feel how it makes them feel. You know, sad, happy, whatever it is. You know.
Right on. I have one more song that I want to
Yeah.
showcase. It hasn't been released yet. I understand it's a new song. It's called Questions for God. When did you write that song?
Very proud of that song. Very proud of that song. I had the idea a good 20 years ago, but I wrote the song that a long time ago, but I never recorded it till COVID. When COVID hit, I remember laying down some tracks, and then when I went back to my house there I was staying with my sister during that COVID time, and I went back to the house and finished the tracks and knocked it out, and it was so nice to finish, you know. But I just asked a friend of mine. I said, "Man, if you could ask God a question, what would it be?" So I had my own, but then I would ask just strangers, you know. If you could ask God a question, what would it be, you know?
And
you
these
know,
were the answers they gave you?
And these were the answers that they gave me, you know. And, you know, is cancer here forever, you know? And, you know, just, is it true that is Mars really out there? You know, all that kind of stuff, you know? And so I probably used about 70% of my questions that I already had, and about 30% of other people's questions.
Did you add any later on?
I was out of music, and I do have a piece of paper somewhere with more questions, because I really believe that you know, God, He's out there, He's an entity, but I don't believe He has too much control over what happens down here. I think He's more of like a bystander. I think He just watches us, you know. So one of my favorite lines in the song is, you know, why do people blame you for things that go wrong when you're doing? God, I need a guitar, but why do people blame you when you're the one oh, that's right, there it is. So why do people blame you for everything that goes wrong when we're the ones creating all the sorrow? See, we're the ones that are creating all sorrow. He's not going, hey, you know what? That guy down there, I'm gonna make him wreck his car and die and leave his 3 kids behind. I mean, it's just not. That's not what He's there for. It's not what He does. He just watches.
Do you mind me asking you on the air about what's going on with you health-wise?
Yeah, the latest is, so I had stage 4 in 2020. 2020, I was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. And by the time I got to them, it had already metastasized to my bones. So a stage 4 means it's metastasized either to your bones or to your organs. Mine, my bones, it's going to be there forever. They've been keeping me alive through chemo. I've got some pills that I've been taking. Right now I'm in the middle of radiation. I went to New Mexico, and my PSA score, which prostate, they measure prostate with that, had gone down, but now it's going back up. I went to New Mexico, and it's gone up. So I have 2 more radiations, one in 2 weeks from now. And what I do is I just keep on going, dude. I don't dwell on it. And my mantra is embracing cancer. I embrace my cancer because my dad passed away from cancer back in the day. But when he found out that he had it, he was like, es en las manos de Dios, you know. I have no control over this, so I'm just going to keep on living my life. They gave him 7 months to live. He died 18 years later.
Wow.
And the reason why I learned is because he accepted it. He accepted it. There's acceptance. And with acceptance comes realization, and the stress goes down. So I've had a lot of people always say, oh, I'm fighting cancer. I'm fighting this. Well, stress goes up. When you're fighting something, your stress goes up. I've had people, friends of mine, that have done that. And they go, oh, it's okay, Freddie, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to fight this. And 3 weeks later, they're gone. So what I learned from my dad and what I learned from them is the cancer's in my body. It's my roommate. It's my traveling companion. And what I tell it every day is, pack your bags, bro, because we're going to do some stuff. Pack your bags, bro. We're doing stuff.
That's a great attitude to have.
And so that lowers my stress level. And at the same time, I'm not afraid, because God,
great.
It's God's will, bro. God's will. God's will.
And you don't blame him.
Nope, I don't blame God. I never, ever said that. Like, hey, why me? Never said that. I'm just like, okay, what's next? Let's do this. And I just keep on going.
What's funny is that you wrote this 20 years ago, and it's so applicable today.
Is cancer here forever? And I didn't, who was to know that
That's amazing. Well, we're going to play Questions for God by Freddie Duran.
I grew up believing I was put here by the source. I pictured him an old man, a mystifying force. So I questioned my existence with a hunger for the truth. I've got so many questions for God. Whose side were you on when we fought the Civil War? Are we just wasting time when we wish upon a star? That familiar cliche. Are you a woman or a man? Tell me now, I really want to know. Who killed JFK, Norma Jean, and Nicole? Show me how a precious diamond is conceived from brittle coal. Is Atlantis really down there? And is there really life on Mars? Tell me now, I really want to know. I've got so many questions for God, and I'm dying to find out today. I don't have plenty of time. Is the girl I'm with the one I'm gonna walk with to my grave? Is cancer here forever? And is it true you gave us AIDS? Did it make you sick to see the black race treated like they were? Tell me now, I really wanna know. Which life am I living? And was I someone in the past? Does my dog really understand me? And will this life be his last? Do I have a guardian angel picked especially for me? Tell me now, I really wanna know. I've got so many questions for God, and I'm dying to find out today. I don't have plenty of time. Why do people blame you for what goes on in the world, when we're the ones creating all the sorrow? Hey, I know Mother Nature has a strong mind of her own. And do you cry when precious lives are lost? Do you cheer for Notre Dame, the angels and the saints? Will I live to be 100? And do you like how Vincent paints? Do you listen to the classics, or do you watch MTV? Tell me now, I really wanna know. Is my nephew doing okay? Can he hear his mother cry? If the bullet ricocheted, would he still be alive?
That's a very deep song, and it speaks for itself. at the very ending, you're talking about a mother who lost her son.
Yeah, my sister lost her son.
How old was he?
25 years old, man. Gun violent. Not his fault.
My condolences to your sister and your family. That's a very tough situation. Before we end the show, I have a couple questions. You're still a young 66. Do you have dreams and goals?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I got to just, finish, recording all these songs that I have, because, again, like I said, we talked about earlier, all it takes is one song. One song. If I get a song in a movie, I not constantly, but from time to time, I'll see ads or something like that for they were looking for a song for a movie or whatever. La Llorona, I missed that by about 8 months, man. I actually got in touch with the director of La Llorona, the movie La Llorona, and he goes, man, Freddie, he goes, I love your song, but we picked that stuff like 2 years ago.
So they've been working on that forever then. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. So, that, just like my grandnephew said, man, just put content up there because you never know who's listening.
It's true.
You never know who's listening. Look at Journey. Journey found a new singer because that guy was on YouTube,
And he sounds just like...
He sounds like Steve Perry.
There you go.
That means that he was out there looking on YouTube for people doing Journey covers. They also say do covers, put covers on YouTube. They say, hey, Freddie, you got a great voice, but cover some songs and put on YouTube. The real artist might hear it and help and go, wow, this guy's great, and it'll help you out.
And they'll share your song, and
then they'll find out that I'm actually a songwriter, and they'll do one of my songs.
That would be great.
So yeah, you never shut the door, man.
Right on. What do you hope listeners will take away from your music?
Well, I remember living in L.A. and we were on the beach, and a lot of musicians, dude. Everyone there's a musician, and we were all sitting on the beach, and we were all going in a circle. All of us were singing each other's songs, like a songwriter circle. And we were all singing. I had just sang one of my songs called "Just Last Night," and one of the other songwriters who that was there, who I had a lot of respect for, he said, I was done. He goes, you know what? He said, Freddie's voice is like a friend. And I'll always remember that, man. It's like, really? He goes, yeah, man, your voice is just so comforting. It's like a friend. So I guess that would be the paramount, if you want to call it, the epic, the answer to that question. I'd like them to think that I have a little bit more music education, than the average guy.
Oh, you definitely do.
By not, I'm not trying to be,
boastful.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I think that other musicians, like when other musicians come up to you and tell you that, that's the ultimate compliment.
That's true.
Right?
It does feel good.
So that's it, man. Just everyone comes up and they say thank you. That's all I need is a simple thank you.
Right on. And where can people find you if they want to get a hold of you?
So the website is up to date. FreddieDuran.com, FREDDIE, Duran, DURAN. For todos los mexicanos, Freddie Duran. Okay. Soy Alfredo. That's my name is Alfredo. I became Freddie. Freddie Duran. The website's up there and my calendar's up there. I'm just gonna start doing a new place called the Trophy Bar in Ocotillo on Thursdays. Friday you can find
Where
me.
is Ocotillo at?
Ocotillo is like South Chandler.
Okay.
South Chandler.
And that's on Thursdays at what time?
Like 6 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah, the Trophy Bar. And then on Fridays I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna be playing over here at Margaritas in downtown Mesa, corner of. It's catty corner of the Mesa Center for the Arts. Margaritas, it's the same family as El Zócalo. Back in the day. Cause I
remember you played there a long time
17 years, man. Wow. 17 years I was at Zócalo. And shout out to Los Dos Molinos, too, bro. I was there for almost 8 years. But those people really took care of me, man. When they found out that I had cancer, they were very generous to me.
Nice.
I got to tell you that. Both was the Vasquez family and the Chavez family, man.
Shout out to them.
From Isabel Zamora, the Vasquez family, Isabel Zamora. So on Isabel Zamora, I'm playing there on Sundays. And then on Saturday, I'm at Poncho's. the old Ponchos downtown.
Oh, on Central?
South Phoenix, yeah.
Okay.
So Ponchos is related to Isabel Zamor. It's the Vasquez family.
Okay.
Yeah, so they take care of me. But anyway, to go to the website.
And if somebody wants to book you, do they book with you direct?
Yeah, they can do that. Yeah,
And
they
you
can go
have
to the website, send me an email. Yeah, my music's all there on the website. You can buy it. They can stream it there. They can buy it from there.
That's right. And you also
Videos
have,
are there.
Yes, you have 2 videos, La Llorona and Where the Birds Sing.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, the birds sing in Spanish, man. I invite everybody to check that song out, too. That's another song I'm very proud of.
Nice.
I'm proud of writing that song because that song is about giving. I wrote that song to give the immigrants, the immigrants. They call them illegal immigrants, but they're immigrants. They're coming across, and I wrote that song to give them a voice in English, because everyone talks about it in Spanish, but this song talks about it in English how they feel about their journey and their trek up to the United States.
Nice. Well, we hope the listeners go out and look up FreddieDuran.com and check out his music, his videos, and see who he really is. And I hope you got to know him today on the Offstage Show with DJ Law. I want to thank you for taking the time out to come here, along with your grandnephew, Julian. And we're all praying for you, that you get better.
Yeah, keep on the prayers, man. Prayers are great.
Yes. And again, thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate it, brother. You did a great job.
I'm cold like ice, chill. Come over. I'm cold like ice, chill. Come over.
You've been listening to Offstage with DJ Law. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word. And don't forget to also spread positive vibration.